Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Jessibo and this is actually the second episode in the Little Story of Seasons Create a Sim Speed Build series. And yes, I will think of a better name that's not so much of a mouthful. So this time we're actually creating the main protagonists or the main characters of the game, Annie and Johnny, which are the two default choices when you're first creating your character. Now, you can change a lot of things about them: hair color, skin color, eye color, all that kind of stuff, their facial shape, and all of that. But this is how they are. This is my interpretation in The Sims 4 of how they are default before you change anything. Now, they did have names, and when it asks you to input your name before you do, if you've chosen the girl, it'll show Annie and you delete it and put your own. Same with the boy, it'll show Johnny and you delete it and put it your own. So this is not an exact interpretation, just like I said in the last video with Miss Ida. This is just my interpretation of it, Sims 4 style. It's impossible to do anything exactly from one game to another. Especially, I had more trouble with Annie than I did with Johnny. You'll see when I get to her clothes, because if you look at the pictures of Annie, you can Google it or play the game yourself. She has kind of a dress that has the top of it's green, the skirt is orange, and and then there's this white little apron type thing that goes on it as well. There's nothing that is anywhere remotely similar to that in the game, so I ended up going with a little orange mini skirt. You'll see what I went with. So I just felt like maybe it was just a more modern day version of her. So now the house that I do build, I'll explain more about that later, but I do create Annie and Johnny as siblings. Now, when you take them into Create a Sim, you can always delete one or the other if you just want to play with one, or you can continue to play with them as siblings. Either way. I gave them the last name Moon after Harvest Moon, since this is the newest true Harvest Moon game. So anyway, so here I am picking her makeup. I went a little heavier on the eyes than I probably should have, but I felt like this was more of a modern interpretation. I almost went with that on her, but it just didn't suit what I was going for. You'll see me play with her clothes forever. I think that this is the final shirt that I go with, but I don't, that first one rather. I don't remember exactly. But I tried just about every skirt that I could think of, every skirt and shirt combo. Nothing worked the way I felt like it should have been working. So, let's see. I'm still fiddling through the clothes, trying to find something that works well. Uh, let's see. Nope. Yep. You should have heard me cussing at the computer while I was trying to figure this out, because I didn't want to add in any custom content, though I have recently figured out a way for me to have custom content in my Let's Plays, but not in my Create a Sims. Um, anyway, so I was going to go with this at first. This is not the final product, because none of the leggings were what I needed. So, none of them were actually the same color green as any of the tops, and she does have some little pantyhose, or I'm not sure entirely what you call them. I'm not sure if they were leggings or whatever, but honestly, I know what skirt I go with, but I don't really remember what top I go with in the end. I think that actually might be the top I went with. That I'll show you in a minute. I've done gone away from it now, but um, where is it? Yeah, I'm trying every single top in this game, looking for one that is the right color green. And let me tell you, it just didn't exist. I was so frustrated. It was not even funny. Um, let's see. I thought maybe I would just switch it out for some white leggings, but it didn't give the effect that I was going for with her. So tried to switch the color of the skirt. That didn't work either. We actually just passed the final skirt a minute ago, I believe. Yeah, this is where I start trying to see if there's a full-bodied outfit that will give the effect I'm looking for. There wasn't one of those either, so like I said, this was an incredibly frustrating process, but I did the best I could with what I had in the game without having to download custom content. So this is the final shirt and skirt combo that I go with, and I I think I just go with those leggings and then I put her on some nice little boots. That's what I go with there. Now her traits are loves the outdoors, family oriented, and neat. And her wish is for a big happy family. You can change that if you want. I just had to figure out something to go with, but I do change up hers and Johnny's traits. They are not exactly the same. So here we are about to start making Johnny, but now I was trying to pull up a picture of him. So that's what all that was about. I've edited their relationships. He wants to be a freelance botanist. He loves the outdoors. He is romantic and he is outgoing. So I gave them both very different traits. Change them into whatever you want because this was just my interpretation. I had a lot less trouble with him than I did with Annie. I'm not entirely happy with the way like his face and such turned out, but I think it worked in the end for what I was trying to go for. So I was trying to give him a less older appearance because I felt like he looked too old. Because in the game, I think they're probably considered teenagers, is what I would probably think of them as. They don't look like adults, but that's also because they are slightly anime. I could have gone a more anime route with the Sims, but I wanted something that was going to look really nice, and I am no good at anime. I can promise you that much. So I think that might be the final. Yeah, I think that's his final face there. Finding hair was very frustrating, let me tell you. I don't think I leave that hat. I don't remember what I do. No, I end up taking the hat off. He doesn't end up having a hat. I do know that much. In the game, she has a little headscarf and he has a hat, but there was no sort of headscarf that I could use for her. And that hat, I'm not entirely happy with the way the hats actually sit on the Sims in the game, so I ended up just going without, basically. So, um, what do I end up going with as far as clothes? That is the shirt that I end up going with. I was pretty happy with that. And then he had on some crop pants, and I felt like that worked. I tried a few different hats before I finally gave up on the hat, and I just left him with none at all. So, um, I thought that was the one I went with. I may have changed my mind. No, I do end up staying with that shirt right there. I do give him some yeah, I leave those socks because he had little tall socks on. Give him some nice boots. And so, oh yeah, I tried to see if I could find something that would look decent enough on her, but the orange of that hat did not match. I think I did do their formal and all their other outfits, but I honestly don't remember. So as you can see, or as you could see a minute ago, over to the right of the screen, you actually can see Miss Edith's house. This is the exact same save that I built her house in, and they are neighbors. And in the game, they are actually neighbors. There's a shortcut from your farm to hers. So originally, I was going to put a little attic in and make it an extra bedroom, but it made the roof really, really tall. I wasn't entirely happy with it. Now, in the game, and I think I've probably said in the game far too many times, and I am so sorry. I'm probably sounding incredibly annoying. I love you guys for sticking it out this far. But your roof is blue, actually. I tried every blue roof that I could. That was the only one that actually looked blue. It's not quite the same color blue in the game. It was a much truer blue, but that was the best I could do, so that's what I went with. So, but yes, I did originally try to go with an attic. It really just does not end up working. I don't know where I would have even tried to put the stairs, basically. So. That's the window I go with because that is pretty true to form as far as the house goes. I could not make it look like the original dilapidated version where the windows are all boarded over and everything. I went with kind of my own little idea of what it would look like after it had been slightly fixed up. Not by much. You have more furniture than you actually start out with, and I may try to do a more sparse version. But right now it does have most of the necessities and even a few luxuries. So I think it works pretty well. There is only one twin size bed, so if you decide that you want to play with both Annie and Johnny, I would suggest that you add in another bed pretty quickly. So, um, I do not do, I think I just put some wild grass there. Oh, I do put a little bush. Okay. What do I, what do I end up putting? I don't even know. There we go. Okay. I do not do much landscaping at all because it's supposed to look very unfinished and kind of broken down. So, um, I do put in a small fireplace. I know that in the actual game there is a little smokestack or a chimney or whatever you want to call it on the outside of the house, but there's no fireplace in the house. But if I'm gonna put a freaking fireplace in, I'm not. I mean, if I'm gonna put a chimney in, I'm putting a fireplace in. It just makes sense. So, um, all right. Ah, yeah, that's where I finally figure out where the heck the fireplaces are. So, I went with the simplest, cheapest fireplace. I didn't do anything spectacular. I think that's almost the same bed that I that you had if you lived over at Miss Edith's house first. So, um, oh, I forgot where I found the calendar at. I was so aggravated. Oh, I clicked everywhere but the one section where it was actually at, and that's where the little sun is because it's a wall sculpture, I think is what it's considered. So, yeah. I remember now where it was at, but then I didn't. Alright, so since I can't put in a toolbox or a storage box like you have in the actual game, I do put in a dresser and kind of like a little side table. Not the end table, or the bedside table, but kind of like a little, whatchamacallit, oh, I don't remember what it's called now. Like a little, shoot. I think it may be called a console table, actually. So we'll just go with that. I would call it a side table, but now when you first start in your new house, you do not have a kitchen. That is one thing that I do know for sure. You don't have a kitchen. I forgot that I had auto counters turned off. I do figure that out eventually. There we go. So it's a very, very, very basic kitchen. There is nothing special about it at all. It is just the bare necessities, and they are not pretty. Um, I put in a small round table with two chairs and a small living area. I think I do put a TV in. Yes, and I put it on that trunk because it kind of looked old. To, hmm. Let's see. Yes, that's the little console or side table that I put in, and I moved the clutter over there, and I end up putting in, I love that little stereo. I think it is absolutely adorable, so that's what I end up putting in as a stereo. So you've got a couple of things to do. You've got a TV after a long, hard day of gardening, and you have a stereo if you need to do a little dancing, but that is it. So if you want any other, skill building type things, then you're going to have to earn the money for them. So I do not give Annie and Johnny any extra money. I do this with the money that they have, and I do not go over. I think I actually leave them a few $1,000s. So you could easily put in a second bed or section off an actual bedroom, whatever works best for you guys. So, now I'm going to finish putting the stuff into the garden, actually. So, I think I am. What am I? Ah, lights. Yes, 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 yes. I do put in that little standing lamp. I have the little oil lantern over there near the bed. And I think I put the little oil lamp would not sit on those shelves. I remember now. The outdoor living shelf, or what? Wait, outdoor retreat shelf. It holds a light, but I don't know why the others don't. So I put that in, and we are actually getting close to the end of the video. So if you guys enjoyed this, leave a comment and a like. You know, let me know whatever you're thinking. If there's a particular thing you want to make sure that I do, if you want to download this house or Annie and Johnny, they link will be in the description to both of them. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.